Yes, I am here. Good evening, good evening. Oh, I'm starting a little late this evening. Nonetheless, I am happy to be here. Happy to be here. And what a joy, a privilege and an honor to be alive today and to sit and to share with you, my lovely Woman of Worth community. Now, this evening, I would love to share on covenant relationships. And in talking about covenant relationships, the first question I'd like to pose to you is, what covenant relationship have you made that God did not assign for you? Let me say that again. What covenant relationship have you made that God did not assign for you? I'm just gonna jump right into it because I'm super excited to share, and because of how power-packed this episode will be, it needs no what should I say, it needs no long thing, so I'm just gonna get right into the meat of the matter and hope that during the podcast, during this episode, you'll be quickened to act upon these words that will be sown into your life, and hopefully that you will water those seeds that later they may become bearing trees that brings forth bountiful fruits for you, and also fruits that you'll be able to share with others, because in this life here on this earth, whatever we have gained, it is not just for us as individuals. We have received so that we can also give cheerfully to others, so they too can win, so others too can soar, so others too can be blessed and experience victory. Now, with covenant relationships, sometimes we make agreements that sometimes we don't even realize what kind of agreements we are making. And words are very powerful, though at times persons tend to say, oh, words are just wind. I remember growing up hearing these words, or this statement, words are just winds and words cannot hurt me. And I beg to differ on that, because words are powerful. Words are not just wind. Words are so powerful that sometimes when we say things, or things have been spoken over our lives, it takes root in our heart and later sometimes affects us if it's something negative, and if it's something positive, it impacts us in a way where we can soar. And because words are so powerful, when we speak them, they eventually become a manifestation. They become the things that which we spoke. We are now seeing them come to pass. And I just want to say thank you for those who are just joining in. Welcome. And because words are so powerful, we have to be mindful of the things we are saying to ourselves. We have to be so mindful of the things we say to others. And we have to be so mindful of what it is that has been spoken into our ear. We have to be very mindful. Also, because words are so powerful, they can pierce the soul of a man. And I'm not being gender biased when I say of a man, I'm talking about male and female. Words are so powerful that when we speak them, we become one with them. So we have to be so mindful of the things that we say. Sometimes when we make covenants or become a part of a covenant relationship, we get ourselves entangled in things that we are not supposed to. Right? And because some of these relationships God did not assign us or assign them to us, we in turn find ourselves going down a deadly lane. Right? And these covenant relationships sometimes that we find ourselves in, it sometimes can be friendships. I know I spoke on broken friendships and broken relationships yesterday, but today I'm talking about covenant relationships. And covenant relationships, sometimes we become attached to individuals whom we call friends, and it's not divine. It was not ordained by God. Sometimes we make covenant relationships with the opposite sex. If you're a female, we make covenant relationships with the male counterpart, and if it is a male, he may make a covenant relationship with that female counterpart. Now, covenant relationships are not something that is to be taken lightly. And the greatest covenant relationship that was ever designed was and still is a husband and wife. That is a covenant or an institution or a ministry that God designed and put together that no man could put it asunder. Yes? And so, because God assigns us to people and assigns people to us, we have to be very careful that we don't get ourselves entangled in friendships or relationships that were not assigned to us. I'm saying something real powerful right there. Yes? The covenant relationship that was created or divine from the beginning was Adam and Eve. Those were two people becoming one. Two becoming one. Flesh. But sometimes we as women, we find ourselves or get ourselves entangled in relationships that were not meant for us. We make covenant agreement with some men that was illegal. Akasaya Basoto. I am already saying something very powerful right here. We as women sometimes, we make covenant agreement with men illegally. What do I mean by that? We may find ourselves in relationships, for example, a man, he may not be single. We are aware of that. Whether he is married or he may just have a female partner. He may just have a spouse. Yes? And we are aware of it, and we cheat ourselves and then settle for less because maybe this person who is already engaged in a relationship, we may find this person attractive, we may find this person kind, we may find this person kind financially, that is, we may find this person as somebody who will listen to our problems, maybe, or so we think. Someone who is very supportive, so we think. Because when we make illegal covenant relationships, we are blinded. We become deafened. We are not able to see. We are not able to hear with understanding the truth that is coming out from this individual. What happens right there, we are not only deceived, but we also deceive ourselves. Telling ourselves that it is okay, I am happy in this relationship, it can work or it will work, or I love this person or this person loves me. But if we really understand what love means, that in itself alone will tell us that this is not a relationship that's truly based upon love. Because if we as an individual or as a female understood what love is, what love looks like, what love means, then we would have first loved ourselves to not settle for that kind of relationship, as well as if the person truly loves us or loved us, they would have said to us, okay, I understand that you're attracted to me and stuff like that. However, it's not possible, or we cannot get engaged in a relationship because I'm already occupied. Yes? So that's the first thing. One of the other things are ways for us to identify illegal covenant relationships that we were not assigned to is that these individuals may misuse us. And again, it can be a friendship or a spousal relationship. Other ways for us to be able to identify these illegal covenant relationships that we have found ourselves in is that it will bring disgrace to us, or it may bring disgrace to us. It may be that the persons may insult us. They may always be someone taking from you and not giving to you. So in other words, you're being depleted. You're being emptied but never yet refilled. Yes? Also, they don't have your interest at heart. An illegal covenant relationship individual, they do not have your interest at heart. They are just there for what they can gain. So if it's a spousal relationship, the male counterpart, he is just there to have fun, to enjoy the ride, to be satisfied sexually. And when that happens, a woman is left unsatisfied, may feel devalued. A woman may feel rejected. She may believe that she is not worthy of more than that, so she ends up settling. You understand what I'm saying? They are not there to see to it that you obtain or ascertain the best that you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? These relationships may also be identified by abuse, whether it be verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And like I mentioned, if this person loved you, they would not be inflicting wounds upon you of whatever kind. And when I say also that it causes us to become blindsided or deafens us, because of the deception, we're not able to see clearly how destructive this relationship has become or is becoming to us. or we may not be able to hear. The person may be telling us that they no longer want to be involved, or they don't want to be involved at all, but because of the covenant agreement or arrangement that was made by the words we spoke, then that kind of thing happens. Also, covenant relationships are deeper than what we see in the natural sometimes. Sometimes some of these relationships in the spiritual realm, they are activated in another realm. So we may see sometimes persons in covenant relationships, it's bringing them no joy, it's bringing them no value, it's bringing them no greatness, no happiness, no peace, nothing good. And it may seem like they want to get out, but they cannot come out. Sometimes it may be a spiritual thing, sometimes too it may just be persons are just stuck in their way to believe what they believe or think is best for them, and no one else can tell them anything. Right? Covenant relationships that we make, it leads to only one road, and that's devaluing our worth. And you, that woman of worth, you are more deserving of that. Yeah? Now, there is a story in the Bible in 1 Samuel chapter 18 verses 1 to 5. That are 1 to 4. The 1 to 4 verses, they really talk about the relationship that Jonathan and David had. Jonathan was Saul's son. They had a relationship that was sweet, and that was a divine connection that was assigned by God. They were assigned to be friends by God. You may say, okay, what proof do I have that that was a divine connection? It was a relationship, covenant relationship assigned by God. These truths may look like, for example, love. Jonathan and David loved each other as friends. They cared for each other. They were loyal to each other. They admired each other's strength. David's strength was admired. His courage was admired by Jonathan. Also by Jonathan's father Saul, which later Jonathan could not stand up in David and wanted to kill him. But the relationship between Jonathan and David, it was knitted, woven by God. Because even though Saul wanted to kill David, it was not so easy for him to get to him. Because Jonathan would go as far as telling David the plans that his father had. Some other ways you may be able to know the truth of what a godly covenant relationship is through support. They were supportive of each other. They honored each other. Jonathan honored David in such a way that he gave him royal clothing. Yeah? Some of the other truths of what a divine covenant relationship assigned by God looks like is they genuinely cared for each other, and to see that they went to the next level. They were out of harm's way. So you can line up the ways to identify illegal covenant relationships that you may have made that God didn't assign for you against the covenant relationship that God assigns. And I'm just using this Bible story where friendship is concerned. Yes? And one of the other things is that, or other way that you can identify when God sends or assigns a covenant relationship divinely to you is that all throughout the Bible, every relationship that God assigned, or every individual that God assigned to the other, they were like-minded. They were like-minded. There was unity. Now, as I'm stating, I'm not talking about relationships that we believe that this is assigned by God. No. I'm telling you ways how you can measure it with the word, or come to know the truth of what that kind of relationship should look like. A divine connection by God. Yes? So as I mentioned, from Genesis right down, there was always some form of coming together by God in relationships, in covenant relationships. So I could say to you that I myself have made these kind of relationships, covenant relationships in the past. But I'm here to also reaffirm you, reassure you, and let you know that there's no need to judge yourself. You too can come out victorious. You too can break free from these relationships that were not assigned or made by God. How? You disconnect. You can disconnect from these relationships by simply disconnecting. No communication. You could also move away from these kind of relationships by engaging yourself or surrounding yourselves with people who are like-minded. Yes? But most importantly, pray about it. Pray and ask God if there is anything or anyone whom you have made a covenant agreement with that is illegal, that you did not assign for me. To disengage it, to nullify it, and that kind of stuff. I love you, but God loves you more. You are valued, and you are worth so much more that God has in store for you. Take care, be gentle with yourself, love yourself, and seek out the good that God has for you. Shalom. Bye-bye.